Hello, guys. Welcome back to TRP Talk, and we decided to talk about today about what if or if possible for you to go back in time. Like, let's say tomorrow you wake up, you're back in 2003.
Oh, that's really far back.
hmm
Okay.
No, that's just an example.
Okay.
Maybe, what's a good year? Like I always think maybe like a year where a major event happened.
For me, it would be 2009
What happened in
because
2009?
2009 I moved to this country.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Because
Hmm.
there's not really like major like life events, I guess that. Uh,
Me, I
what?
will pick 2012. 2012 was the year when I decided to be the person I am today.
Oh, okay.
In
Well,
2012, I was thinking, this is how I'm going to act. This is what I'm going to start doing. I will try to achieve this, and that was the year when I started my first YouTube channel that I had to delete because of family issues. People, oh, you're not going to be anything because back in the day, YouTube just really started, and
well,
I mean that was just in 2012. That's when people realized I can make a living on YouTube, and back then I decided to start, but it was, and I feel like that's a good year to go back for me.
okay. So, okay, let's just say 2012 for both of us. We're
Okay.
both going back to 2012. All right. So you wake up. Today is whatever today is Saturday, and
Today's
it's
Saturday.
2012.
20. I mean,
But
27 January 27.
but the parameters are that you are you of right now.
Yes, you
In
still.
your mind,
Mm-hmm.
your physical body is younger, but
Yeah.
your brain is the brain you
Yeah.
have today.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Okay, you wake up and you're like, oh snap. It's probably gonna take you maybe like a day or so to like
Fully grasp
get
that
your
you're back.
bearings.
Yeah. But the thing is, if we follow the theory of the butterfly effect, uh, you're going to mess up the timeline. You're going
Well,
to become Barry.
Well, actually, you know what? The thing of it is, we haven't said that you're gonna be moving back to your time. So that's
What do
not
you mean?
really. That means you're going back to 2012, but you're not going back. You're not coming back
Okay.
in
So we're taking it as you restarted.
Or is that where you were going?
So no, no,
Are
no,
you
no, no,
going back and then you're
no. You're
coming
not going
back?
back in the future. That this is your present now. There is
Right.
no future
So
anymore.
the butterfly effect doesn't really come
But
into
you know
what?
the future, and you feel like, oh snap! I just ruined the timeline. This guy was supposed to be president. You see what I mean? And yeah,
Okay, so yeah, in that perspective, yeah, but but you'll be the only one who knows.
yeah, of
Except,
course,
of course, with all the other people who moved back.
in time.
If it was like kind of like that mass
Oh,
transportation
mm-hmm.
thing from Mushoku Tensei,
Uh huh.
you have got like many people that got moved.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people are gonna be like, wait, what is going on here? No, no, Obama's not supposed to win,
Yeah.
right? Or actually, he's supposed to win because he won twice,
Yeah.
right? But but only these people would know.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is you're the only one. Like there's
Okay.
no other.
Yeah, so if you're
It's
the
just
only
you.
one,
It's
it
just
doesn't
you.
really matter, right? Because you can really, well, it doesn't change your life for anyone.
The biggest thing is for me, I will start thinking about cryptocurrency.
No, that's not what I'm saying. All
But
I'm saying
and
is,
for cryptocurrency, if I mess up the timeline, crypto might never happen.
but that's exactly what I'm saying. It's never gonna matter because you're not coming back to the present. And also, if you're the only person
Right.
who moved back, nobody else knows what's supposed to be. Only
True.
you.
True,
So
but
you're the only guy who's gonna be like, "Oh snap! I broke crypto."
Yeah.
Now it's never gonna be a thing. Only you are gonna know that. Nobody
true,
else is
true.
gonna know
No,
that.
no, you're right. You're right. Because that becomes your present, and your future is still to be.
Right.
You don't know it yet.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. And if we go on that premise, oh man, life will be fun.
You can like
Oh, life will
you
be
can
fun.
freestyle, but again, knowing that
Now, I will try to keep the timeline as it is because some part of this timeline that I lived, I liked it. I liked the song. I liked the way some things happened.
I mean, I can just imagine so many people who are like me who would say, "Man, all the stuff I could have done. What if I had not done this stupid thing?" You know, like
Oh yeah,
you
no,
go back to this
of course,
party and you're like, "No, this
If-
time I am gonna drink." And yeah, I'm just saying. And then see where that takes you. You know,
oh,
like
this one you're going to ask Becky out finally, or some girl? I'm just talking to some girl.
right. Yeah, I was like, who? Right, but I'm sure that anybody who's you don't even need to be smart here.
No,
If
you
you're
don't.
not already like rich, even if you are rich, you're gonna go back and be rich sooner. That's
of course,
really all
of
you're
course,
gonna do,
of course.
right? Because the first thing is gonna be you're
But-
gonna try to make money.
So you choose 2012 too, right?
2012, yeah, just so to make
Okay.
it standard.
Okay, 2012. What's your first move?
2012, my first move. Well, first of all, I'm in high school in 2012,
Mm-hmm.
my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
or well, part of my junior year, I guess.
That will suck, by the way.
I don't know.
See,
You know, I would go to prom.
I went 4 times to prom since my freshman all the way to senior year. I was asked to go to prom with the seniors, and the thing is, it wasn't all that.
Yeah, it was whatever. Because I did eventually go to prom, like after I graduated,
Uh-huh.
and then I was like, okay. I still think back to that moment. I'm like, I cringe a little bit. I'm like, ugh. I
like
would-
like
ugh.
freshman for me as a freshman going to prom was like, oh man, this is so cool. But then I got to sophomore, I'm like, junior, I'm like, ah, man, what am I doing here? And once once you're in senior year, like, I don't want to go, I'm
Yeah.
just going because you want to go, that's
Yeah.
all. And my first move will be to check the internet to
See where it's at.
yeah, what's going on. That will be the first day, all day long. That's all I'm going. I'm going to check where's crypto, who's doing what. The guy for the ring bell, the the camera ring. Yeah, I will check where he's at. Like, did he already sell his
Yeah,
project
like,
to
all
Amazon?
yeah, all these folks like Amazon and such.
Yeah.
You're like buy all these shares, but now remember, you don't have money here. So I was like, oh, I never had a job throughout high school. This I'm like, where's McDonald's at? I'm
he
gonna
doesn't
make
take
money.
fun stuff. He wants to leave.
No,
just
no. What I'm saying
his
is,
second regular
I'm
life.
going to like try to make as much money as I can to invest in these things that I know
okay,
are gonna blow
okay.
up in a few years. So I'm gonna go to McDonald's, work. Like I'm
Okay.
gonna be working like double shifts, whatever. I'm gonna like make bank, and
But
I'm gonna
instead
like
of doing it,
what?
you just like try to get some money however you can instead of like going
Yeah, but
full
again,
job.
look.
But once you get enough, you invest.
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm doing. But the point is, nobody's gonna lend you money. In 2012, I'm 16, 17. Nobody's gonna lend me like $5,000.
No, you don't need $5,000.
I
For
mean,
example,
if you want
like
to have something substantial later, yeah, you need a
let me
little-
let me check.
you
When
need something heavy.
when did Bitcoin blow up? Like, let me do this.
I would try to like
How
buy
much?
like an Amazon share.
Was Bitcoin in 2013? See, one Bitcoin was $750 back in 2013. So in
That's
2012,
expensive.
it's not, because now one Bitcoin is $50,000.
Oh, okay. I guess it's
Okay.
pretty cheap.
It's cheap. So if you're getting early, maybe you decide to go back in 2010. You're getting early. Like, you can have 1,000 Bitcoin and you only spend like what?
You
Like a-
still spent like $700,000. I mean, it was if it was cheaper probably in 2009, most likely.
Yeah, let me check. Da, 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 da. In 2009, it was 0.1 cent.
Okay, so if you move in 2009, you're like, okay, Bitcoin, here we go.
But yeah, so, some of those investing stuff, you just have to spend like maybe sometimes $100.
But the thing of it is, what if you invest at the wrong time.
You
know?
can't
No,
invest
no,
at
no,
the
no,
wrong
no. You
time.
can look. 'Cause this is still a person with his idea, right? And he's thinking, "Oh man, well, I'm just trying this." And then imagine that you somehow came upon like $20,000, and you're just like, "Here you go, boy," and you're thinking things are gonna go the same way. But what if he's like, "Oh snap! I got all this money. Let me hire some hooker first, right?" And then he like goes and blows the money because he went money crazy because he suddenly got $20,000 that he probably
But
maybe hold on
you're
maybe
right.
has never seen, right? And then instead of like working on his project and like maybe like the thing that would have like pushed him was because he didn't have any money, and then it like really drove him. But now like you gave him all this money, and instead of like investing it like you're thinking he's
Yeah.
gonna do, he does something else, and then he never.
But that's the problem with that. It can't happen with investing on crypto or any of on stocks. It can't
Why
because
not?
I bought
Well, I
the
mean,
stocks.
stock, yes,
You cannot ruin my stock
right.
because if you do, you ruin the company, and I can take it away from you. And most people know this, and they're not going to do it. Because,
that's-
for example, if the company has 100% share and you own 50% of the shares,
Yeah, you own 50% of the.
so he
yeah.
cannot just do.
No, right. But as far as Bitcoin is concerned, what was it at that point?
It was-
in
it was-
2020. Was this like one dude's idea
No,
pushing,
they were.
or
They
was
were.
it something
there were
bigger?
already like a bunch of people.
Okay, because if it's like already a bigger thing, what I said doesn't apply. But if it's still like one person just trying to like,
It was back in 2009. It was still a dream that people wanted to accomplish, but because the day of age of the internet didn't truly break out yet until we got into 2016, where the internet became the most important thing in the world. That's where you got Vine. That's where you got YouTube establishing himself. Twitter became the tycoon of information in the world, and Facebook is raging wars on people's
you know what,
life.
I would also do? I would just call the MySpace guy and say, just keep your money.
Bro, stop,
Keep
bro.
your money.
But
Poor guy.
that's what I'm talking about. For example, the guy from the Ring doorbell,
Oh.
like 2012. I don't think he was already there. No. I don't think so. So you just find a guy,
Be like,
give
I
him a
really
couple.
like your idea.
Yeah,
You're like, let me finance you a little
yeah.
bit.
Let me
and
get some
write
shares in
books.
this, because he went on Shark Tank, and they rejected his idea.
I don't. But why? Like,
They
that
didn't
sounds like-
really reject
it's
it,
a
but they
good
wanted
idea.
to buy everything from him.
Oh,
And he's
so
like,
they were
"No."
like, "Oh, this is a great idea. Let's just take it."
But some of them were like, I don't see it coming up. I'm not going to
And
invest in
so
this.
this is a doorbell with the camera in it.
Yeah,
It's a great idea.
it's a great idea, but not for like whatever he was asking for
Or was he asking for too much money?
at the investors' eyes. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
well,
they didn't.
today-
And one of
today's
the
like-
one of the sharks today are saying like, if I did take what I wanted to take, I would have probably made like 300 million right now. I'm like, sucks for you, right? Because you thought like it's a good idea, but I'm not going to invest more than blah, blah.
I
Oh,
would have like gone like if I really believed in his idea, like I'd go like behind after the show. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna finance you.
Oh man, but yeah, there is a lot of company back in 2012 that were like not that huge, and today they're the thing.
Yeah. Like,
And yeah, some people, and if you think, well, I'm back in 2012 and I want to already make all that money, you're not going to be able to, especially for us
yeah,
who in high school.
right. And then for people who are older, you know, they're
Yeah.
already working at the time, and they're like, they're the ones who
Yeah.
are really going to have. I mean, if they are working and they're stable,
Yeah.
right? I'm not talking about somebody who's like barely like making rent or whatever.
In my case, I will open the YouTube
But
channel.
you know what? Even somebody who is barely making rent,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that, say, like whatever is going to invest in is something that's going to blow up. If I was that guy, honestly, I would be okay with like being a burden on others and be like, let me just crash at your house. Please, please, I promise you when I blow up, and I will. Wink, wink. And then just save all of my money. I'm sure I'm going to have to pay
Yep,
rent or whatever,
yep,
but
yep.
like I'll beg for like the most minimal stuff I
Mhm.
can give him
Mhm.
and just put all my money in this stuff I know is gonna work. and then, you know,
Yeah.
become something and just pay him back. I'm like, you see what I was telling you?
You know,
Yeah.
some stuff you can keep. Like, if, for example, of course, I will keep my YouTube channel, but I will also check what are the YouTube channel that are like like still today are
Like
the
from
best.
that time
Yeah,
to now, they're still up.
I will do the same idea, or I will do something, or
Oh,
for
so
example,
you
the
would
podcast.
steal from these
No,
people.
not still, because it's a
Wow.
community. It's a community. Everybody's sharing all their ideas.
And they're gonna be like, "Oh, that guy is so brilliant. It's
Is
idea,"
it?
and it's
It's
like,
not.
"No, it's actually your idea. I
Yeah.
just stole it."
Because I know the future. I know what works. I know what's the best out
Oh,
there.
that's messed up.
It's true. I will just do the same thing. I will become Mr. Beast before he's Mr. Beast. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can just see my poor guy. He'd be like, "Oh, that guy. I wish I could have done
Yes.
it first." And it's like,
And
no,
you know
did
what
it
I'm going to
first.
do? I will do TikTok before TikTok comes out. I will create TikTok before he creates TikTok. Ruined it. Yeah. Or like, you know, Vine.
But what if it doesn't work under your supervision?
But
You know, cause also it's all those people, right? You got like the person who thought about TikTok, and then he had all these people that worked in to make that TikTok.
See,
TikTok.
that's not how success works. If your idea is successful and you repeat the same steps, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
The thing is, it's not the people who okay, the people do
The
make the
people
idea,
matter.
but the thing is, if you already have what they invested, the idea they invested into the thing, I don't need you anymore. I just need to find a new set of people who can guide this. But the foundations, I already have them in my book. For example, Vine. Vine was the greatest thing out there. And then
Was it?
yes, Vine was, if Vine realized what TikTok did, it wouldn't have fallen. You can get paid on TikTok. TikTok has longer videos. TikTok has so many add up. You know, you have facial filters, you have blah blah blah
All those
blah,
things, yeah.
all those things. You know, you can like
But
you
right, I just thought of this. You also have to remember that you're coming back to a point where tech is not where it is now.
True, but tech back in those days, people were just missing the idea, and once the idea came in, people started working on it. So you just like you have a team of like a dedicated scientist. You go to them. You're like, this is what I want, because basically that's what Steve Jobs was, and people know this. He
Wow.
wasn't there in the lab working on iPhone. He wasn't. He's like,
Yeah,
hey,
he
you know
was.
what? You see this little thing? I want to be able to put at least 1,000 songs in this little thing, and it's going to be called the iPod. Work on it. That's what he was doing. He wasn't there.
Right, because
like,
the guy who has the idea is really the one who like
yes,
he got the idea and you don't have it.
Yeah.
Now you're the hands and I'm the brain. I give you the idea, you make it happen.
it's true.
Yeah. So yeah, but again, this would be true for a guy like
Okay,
Steve
let-
Jobs. But you are a little teenager and you don't have
But let's say
Anything.
let's say for example, I don't know. You know, for example, in somebody, for example, you know this guy is very smart. He's a college professor. Back in the timeline where you're from in 2024, you realize, oh, he became super famous and he's a genius. I will go to you before you become a famous genius, and I will start working with you because I have an idea of something that will be super profitable in the future, something that will give us a lot of money. And
Yeah.
I go to you, and you know what? I need a tablet.
And you know what? The thing of it is, that's again, and I'm saying this from the stuff I've seen in movies, and I haven't just seen this in movies, but also in real life, where people will be like, this is like the most logical course of action, right? But just because it's, I don't know what it is, it's not the right time, it's not the right person, it's not the right whatever. I see that, in fact, you haven't watched much of a regular show, but there's this
Oh
episode.
no, I have.
You have? Okay. So there's this episode where the Blue Jay Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
He has like this hot dog with like too many onions in it
Yeah.
that actually fell to the ground 1st, and then he picks it up and eats it. Anyway, later in the night, they've had like a good like double date or whatever. He goes to kiss the girl, and he has bad breath, and she like pushes him away and whatever. He gets a time machine to
Oh,
go
yeah,
back,
I've seen it.
and then younger him from just a few hours ago is like, "Pfft, it's not because your kiss didn't work that mine's not gonna work." It's like, dude, I'm from the future. Why aren't you listening to me? You know. So and that happens.
But it's
I mean, it's not like it happens because people travel back in time, but I'm like, it could happen.
I see, because butterfly effect. What you did is going to prevent you because it's changing what's
Some whatever
supposed to
stuff.
happen. It's true. Then that's
So that college professor of yours, first of all, he's like, why is this college kid even thinking that I would work on this thing with him? And then he's gonna go home and be like, that's a good idea, and work on it himself. And then he steals your idea and like blows up, and then you're left behind.
no, it's true. But then that's where you let some stuff happen on their own. But you know when to invest, when to say whatever you want, because you know, for example, okay, let's say, 2020, COVID is going to happen. You're like, 2020 COVID is going to happen. People are going to start buying masks.
So you start making like all those cool, funky
Cool.
masks.
No. You start making a mask that is super good for you, not the paper ones that are like fine.
Oh, just no.
So you create an entirely good brand for masks that are going to be like maybe expensive, but you know people are going to
don't
buy
make
it.
them expensive. That's the thing. Every person in the world nearly was wearing a mask. So you're gonna make them really affordable, but you're gonna make a bunch of them. You make like a normal mask, you make an N95 mask, you make
Yeah.
a respirator, you do all of this stuff, and you're like, hey,
Yeah,
you know,
and
you do like your all of
you know
like your.
2019. You're like, oh, it's coming. Like you're starting advertising.
Actually,
This
I
is
would
who I
even
am.
start before that.
Yeah.
I'd start in like 2017. And
Like
just,
you start like
you
giving
can
it to.
start with like just like, you know, like how some people wear the thing here and then he has like teeth or
Yep,
whatever,
yep.
like all designs.
Yep.
You can like start doing that kind of stuff, like advertise however you can, so that at least people know that you make stuff. And then as you get closer to the sickness, you start making like these real things.
Yeah.
And then when people are like, oh well, that guy makes good mask, and then oh, he has a COVID mask, then they buy yours, and so on and so forth.
It's the same thing with, like I was explaining, the college professor. I'm not going to approach you and make you do the thing right away. I'm going to approach you to create a relationship. So when the time comes, I will be there.
You'll be surprised.
No. But that's how.
I mean, because if it works, you're good. But if it doesn't work,
But if it doesn't work, but I'm from the future, you're not my only option, bro. There's
right. So
multiple.
you should- yeah, you
so
should
I'm like,
definitely-
even if it doesn't work, I still have this that I'm trying to do.
and then the government's gonna be like, why are we seeing this name in every succeeding business? And then they're gonna like start looking and like do some weird stuff and like,
You
oh,
know-
the time signature looks different.
I just thought about this, and we're super idiots. We're like, oh, we need to find ways to make money because we're young kids. We just played the lottery. I already know the winning tickets. I just go and play the lottery. I know the Super Bowl. I know who wins.
Right, you bet on other
Look
winners.
at the winners, bro.
That would really be the easiest way.
It's
That's
the
like
easiest
the
way.
easiest way.
Right away,
But
you make the
not
most
for a
money.
guy like me, because I don't know who wins. I don't know who's won any. I know the Broncos won the Super Bowl when I was in college.
Like easiest one.
Oh, but that's the thing. Look, you don't know when you're gonna go back. You don't even know that this is the thing. Say like right now,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know that tomorrow we're gonna be back in 2020, 12 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't know. So you wouldn't have had like the time to like Google it. To
No,
see
but-
like
but
no,
of
no,
course.
hold on. You don't. So say a guy like me who doesn't know who
No,
won
you're
what
right,
Super
you're
Bowl
right,
and
you're right.
who won the lottery
You're
or what
right.
was the numbers. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be like, shoot, I never knew. So I still don't know.
Somebody like me, definitely who knows. So I will go back. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, I'm
so
rich.
for any person who's like watching foot, like I could bet on like the soccer World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that
I could prevent.
Argentina's gonna win.
I could
right?
prevent Kobe from dying.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
How did he die?
He died through the helicopter. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm like, dude, hey,
Yeah, but
take
that's
your
the thing.
Lambo. Take your Lambo today.
What you're gonna have to do is something major, because nobody just listens to a guy says, "Don't get in the
No,
helicopter,
no, no,
bro."
no, no, no. No, the thing is, like, people know what went wrong. I checked the story. I know of some parts that what the story explains. I know some part of it. I know it happens on this spot at this time, and this is what malfunctioned in the craft. So I'm like, okay. And I go, for example, I'm like, I try to go. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you know,
know what
just
I'm
in
gonna
movies, I'm
do?
like, if there was a missile going to shoot his plane, I shoot the missile first, but or something. I don't know.
I would do such a thing as that. Like, I'm gonna go buy a gun, and on that day, I'm just gonna be like, he has guards. I'm gonna get shot.
No, but look, but for example, if you catch like a member of his family, you're like, don't go. This is going to happen. And he's like, for example, you don't believe me? Let your guard go. And he goes, boom, he blows up. You're like, see, I told you, bro.
Yeah, but again, nobody's gonna do that. So the
course,
thing of it
nobody's
is, you're gonna have to do something drastic. Now, let's remember that
But-
you're gonna have to like go over to where he lives or
But
something.
the thing is, like, it happened like 4 years ago, three. I don't. When did it
I
happen?
think 4 years. No. I think 4 years.
2020, right?
I
It
think
happened in 20. Yeah,
or 2020. Yeah, something or
If
somewhere
it's
around
not
there.
2021, it's 20.
I think it's 2020.
So if it happened then, I'm like, I'm back in 2012, have enough time to be a major person in the world where Kobe and I have met at some point. And then when I'm like, bro, don't take that plane.
Yeah, but then again, okay, if this is a thing where that was the end of his timeline, you can't change it.
No.
Like,
who says so?
Guess what? Because we don't know, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna go to sleep and then you're gonna forget
this is your
that
present
today.
now.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But the thing of it is, there are some events that are already predetermined. For those who don't believe in it, I do. Now, if this is the end of his timeline,
He's talking like Barry, the timeline will find a way
right.
to make it happen.
so like,
Fine.
say like you like kidnap the helicopter driver.
Yeah.
And then like somehow he called some backup one and that guy was drunk or whatever, and then the accident still happens. And then you're like, okay, let's assume that you thought about all of these possibilities. So you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna like break that airplane, that helicopter. So by some magical reason, you like get a bazooka, go from really far away, you shoot the helicopter before they get in it. He
Yeah.
doesn't have enough time to replace the helicopter, right? And somehow he's still gonna like wake up and then like get hit by a car.
But
You know, it's because like
yeah,
it's the end of his timeline.
The timeline will find a way to make it right.
Yeah.
So I get it. That's some flash stuff right here. But
I'm just saying, it's
I
like
I get what you're
there's
saying.
always
But I'm
those
going.
things.
I'm going. That's a cool way of seeing it too, because now we're like, this is proper timeline stuff. But then I'm like, if that's true,
Only changeable events can be changed. So like,
but
say for
most
example,
events in
if
the world-
Elon
how
Musk,
do you know which events
right, you
are like,
don't until you try to change them and they don't change. It's
But
like,
you
for
don't
example,
want to, but the thing is, you don't want to change them. Most events you don't want them to change.
I
You
want to
still
change
no,
the
for
world,
Example,
like-
for example, I still want TikTok to be what TikTok is. I just want to be part of it. TikTok is going to happen
right, but
because the
now your
universe,
name
like
is
the
in-
timeline, wants TikTok to happen.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What
But
if
you just-
TikTok is a changeable event? Where, say, for example, you go in there and you like invest, and then you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, thank you, you're such a generous donor. Actually, we want to make you a partner, and you start giving ideas, and then this person's like, I don't like that guy. You know what? I'm tired of this TikTok, and then he doesn't make TikTok. You know, right? Or and
You
then
make
say
TikTok
like
then.
you're gonna make
Yeah.
TikTok, and it doesn't blow up. Then it just dies. It's I don't know. It's like
It's
that's the thing with time travel.
now no.
There's like
Now
crazy
you
stuff
make
that
it
can
you
happen.
make you make it too real. See, that's the thing. You're making it too real. But if we go on the premise that you just explained about the timeline will always find a way to make it right, then I'm safe in every single investment that I make.
Right, because you're gonna right.
Yeah.
It's like if this is gonna happen regardless.
Mhm.
That's the way it's gonna be. You're gonna get
Because
carried.
in most timeline stories, all the events will happen regardless. It will
Well,
probably
not
like
all. It's a lot of them.
most of
Not-
them.
n-
Like
not all. In
maybe
fact, I don't even know that you can say most. If we go back to the Flash, for example,
Uh-huh.
you know how like he saves his mom, and then he comes back
yeah,
and like
he's still friends with his girlfriend, his wife. He's still friends with Cisco. See,
right.
those
but
things are
Cisco
still
is
there.
now depressed because his brother's
Okay,
dead,
okay,
or
things-
something like that. And now you could really push this depression thing further, right? Because now Cisco is messed up, and you know what?
So he becomes Reaver.
Because he's depressed, he doesn't come into work anymore, and there could be a day where you're like, Cisco was supposed to be here already, man. Where is he? And he's at home crying, right? And then something happens to you, or something happens to the wife, or whatever.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
It's-
You're right. But
you-
that's because I have like I think about those movies. I'll be like super careful not to like change too much. See, I'm not okay. If for example, Vine was supposed to die in 2015, and then I'm like, I make it so it doesn't die. That's why you're changing major events. Then
Right.
Then,
and then,
yeah.
like, say,
Then
like,
musically
TikTok
is not
never
going to
comes
be
out.
born. TikTok doesn't come out. That's when you ruin stuff. But what I'm saying is,
But, I mean, but imagine the world that way. You
it
know,
won't,
like,
it won't happen because if we take your premise, the
no,
timeline.
only for stuff that isn't changeable. If TikTok is a changeable event, or like Vine dying is a changeable event, and you make it survive, then Vine being alive and say like they've figured it out. You just like enlighten them. They're like, oh, this is a way to do it. And then when like the person tries to push TikTok comes up, they just like get bought. And then like what does that mean? You know, like
No, I
how
thi-
is that gonna look in the grander
See,
scheme of things?
I feel like I've read this manhwa, this Korean manhwa, and the guy like goes back in time, and he goes back in time. He's like still like in middle school. He's like, wait, I'm back. What's going on? And he was like a major
Was he a loser?
No. He was a major stock investor,
Oh.
stuff like this. So he worked in the stock market, so he knows about most of the things that happened in the world. So when he goes back, he's like, oh, I'm going to make this right. So the way he does it, he's like, he knows this is going to start in 2016, and it's going to die in 2019. He does everything that he does in 2016, and 19 when he dies, he lets it die. He just gets what he needs, goes out. Because if he does too much, then it will change the event that's coming up. Like, I'm not trying to.
Right. So
I'm
he's not like he's not taking over anything.
No.
here. He's just like a passenger cashing in where he didn't cash in before,
Yeah.
which is really the way to do it if you want the life
Yeah,
to
you will
stay what
you
it
will
is.
stay out of the radar from most people. Like,
Radar?
wait, who's radar? From most people who are like, who's this guy? You know, because if you start like amassing this fortune, being a tycoon, like people are, hey, hold on, who's this guy? And then if you get invested, you're like, this
Investigate
guy's
it.
a time traveler. Oh, dude, you might get dissected. No, okay, let's be honest.
The CIA just one
if
day.
if
take
the
you.
CIA, like the FBI, the government realize there's a time traveler, you will be arrested, and like the best scientific in the world will dissect you. It's just a fact. It's like, how were you able to do this, bro? Like, cut off his finger first. Let's check his blood vessels. You know, those kind of stuff, and just stay out of the radar. Like, you know, just cruise along. Oh, this
But
is
you
what's
know
happening.
the number of
Cruise.
people who want to be like, because people want to be popular for some reason.
I don't.
And they're like,
Waste of
oh
time.
my god, I'm gonna be the next Taylor Swift, right? And then if she could actually sing, just like steal all the songs. I don't know how singing would work.
If she could, oh my God, you're so disrespectful to Tyler.
No, I'm not talking about Taylor Swift. I'm saying if this person is thinking
Oh,
of
okay,
becoming
okay. Oh, okay.
this time's Taylor Swift, and like she already knows like all the lyrics and such,
Mm-hmm.
and like starts singing her songs before Taylor Swift sings them.
It's true, but then
But that's what I'm saying. For singing, it's like, but you're not Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
So,
so
like, there's a good chance that you don't hate her
some
success.
events that Taylor Swift did, or like some major song that happened, that got so popular because of a tweet she did on Twitter. You're not Taylor Swift, so you won't be able to make that tweet. Unless you were like a mega fan and you know what she said, how she did it, and then you wait. I'm back. Oh, I also was a major fan, and you steal her life.
So unless really, so what you would probably want, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be because this one from like people who want to be popular, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for people who want to be popular, they would have to like go big.
No.
And it's maybe if they go big in one thing, then
No,
it
no.
might
When,
be fine.
when you go big in one or two things, people are like, oh, this guy's good. He's good. But once it's like three, okay, four, all right, five. Hey, who's this guy?
But then again, they don't have any records of the future.
No, no.
Right. So
question
then
is not about the record.
who's to say that this is not
No.
just a normal person?
No, because people are like people. The human race is very curious. We see a guy who
Yeah,
went to
that-
war 5 times and survived. You're like, okay, fine. And he was in a major battle that happened in Singapore for some reason,
And
he survives again.
Among like the 10 people who
Yeah,
survived, he
he's
was
the
in
one.
there.
I'm like, how many times, bro? hey, sit over here. Let me ask you some questions.
Yeah, for that investment stuff, it would be that you're never losing.
Yeah.
It's like, how is this guy always knowing when to put in
Yeah,
his money?
and
right?
people, like if people, and that's what happened in the manhwa.
Yeah.
And he realized because he's thinking of it, he's like, oh, I'm going to be invested. So he's like, I'm going to take a major sit back.
Or
I'm going to take.
investigated.
Yeah, he was getting investigated, not illegally, but people just like not at a legal state. People were just wondering.
Yeah, like
who
how
you?
are you so successful, right?
So what he did is he took a back seat. He created a shell company, whose CEO is somebody else, but he's the chairman, and he's in the back. Nobody knows it's him. So everybody like, oh, is this guy? Oh yeah, this guy used to be a huge investor. So him succeeding now is not suspicious, but it's not his plan. So that's what he does. He finds a guy who was like a major, like somebody who's super good at stocks. He finds him at his lowest moment where he's losing everything. He's like, dude, we got this. This is how much I'm going to pay you. Do this for me. Boom. He got out of the radar. But still, people are curious. So that's what will happen. As soon as you become a major person in the world,
yeah, you get invested. That's just how it is. Folks
You're
are
done
gonna be
for.
like, "Who is this guy?" And
Yeah.
then they start digging.
Yeah.
Now, for people like you and I, you
not
know,
going to happen.
we got drugs in the back. I'm just kidding. Like we actually have like super clean records, so it's like, okay, you're gonna dig, you're not gonna find anything. I'm just
Yeah, and
guy.
and the thing is, but they might dig, not to try to, you know,
they wanna
find a
find-
skeleton in your closet. No, they're
But
they're
that's what the
digging to
world
understand
does today.
who are you, and why you being able to do this. And if they see like he's successful all the time, they're going to check like, is he working with somebody? Like, is somebody giving all the right notes, or what's going on? And when people don't find answers, people
Then there's-
create answers.
there's gonna be that like,
That one guy who's like, he's a time traveler, and people are like, oh, shut up, bro. but he's telling the truth. You know, that one guy.
There's always
There's
one
always
guy.
That one guy.
there always is.
Oh,
Anyway.
man. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, comment.
And see you.